Lu-Ling Shen to bestow the precious Dharma teachings. First, let's pay homage to the lineage gurus. Homage to the Venerable Monk Liao Ming. Homage to Master Sakya Zeng Kong. Homage to His Holiness the 16th Karmapa. And homage to Master Dupten Dorji. Homage to the three jewels of the altar. Homage to the deities who descended today, the thousand eyes, thousand arms, Avalokitesvara Bodhisattva, Vajrapani Bodhisattva, and Tara Bodhisattva who dispels epidemics. Sumu, Danzen Katso, Tuten Siddhi, all Dharma masters, Dharma educators, Dharma teachers, Dharma lecturers, Dharma assistants, directors of temples and chapters, and all disciples. Good evening. How do you do?
Aisteru Sarane Hola amigo que quiero mucho Sukoin Ichiban Kimochi Jumi Yapi Purin Purin Konbanwa Nihou Takao
Konbanwa. Good evening. How are you? Today, first, I would like to talk about the question and answer by the disciples. The first question: the practice of forsaking one's body is just visualization. So it talks about the practice of forsaking one's body. It's just visualization. In reality, when one hasn't given up anything at all, is this appropriate? What benefit is there for the mind? Let me tell you, in Tantrayana is also the school of the power of the mind. So you use your power of mind, when in reality you have not given up anything at all. That means because you haven't forsaken anything, then the score that you will get is 0 in this practice of forsaking. So you get 0. Very simple. In Tantrayana, many Dharma practices are visualization.
像四皈依
All of them, in fact, like the fourfold refuge.
对，南无古鲁贝，南无布达呀，南无达摩呀，南无真圣开呀，南无古鲁贝，
Like Namo Gurupe, Namo Buddhaya,
跟
Namo
我们的祖师
Dhammaya, Namo Sanghaya. So when we say Namo Gurupe, it means we pay homage to the lineage gurus. We take refuge in our lineage gurus. But they are not here.
我跟你讲，
So
卡玛巴
let me tell you, like Karmapa,
表明和尚，
the Venerable Mang Liao Ming,
这个图登大吉上师，
Master Tupten Dorji,
萨迦真空上师，
Master Sakya Tsongkhong,
都已经不在了。
they're all not here
但是
anymore.
你也要跟他敬礼，
But you still have to pay
这个
homage to
敬
them.
礼是真实的。
So the homage is real.
这个南无布达呀，
Namo Buddhaya,
释迦牟尼佛，
the
跟所有的
Buddha,
佛，
Sakyamuni Buddha, and all the Buddhas
你也是要跟他敬礼。
has no form, but you still want to pay homage
然
to
后
them.
要敬礼
And then
这个所有的佛法，
you also want to pay homage to all the Buddha
所
Dharma,
有的经典，
all the
然后又要
sutras.
敬礼这个
And then
所有的圣贤僧，
you want to pay homage to all the sages
这些都是无形的。
and the holy.
但是你要跟他敬礼，
People.
你认为说
They all
这
have
个
no
实际
form.
上你们都不在，
But
就
if
不
you
用
say
敬礼。
that because you don't exist, so I don't have to pay
算
homage.
蛇，算象，
So
像
what-
什么蛙哥，
what would that be? What the heck is that?
很简单的供养曼达，
So like the great
你这里
mandala
面比起
offering,
来啊，供养，
you form this mudra and make an
观
offering.
想所有的七珍八宝，
You visualize all the
这也是
precious
假的。
items and delicious
哪
food.
里也来的七珍八
They're
宝？
all fake too. Where are they?
你没有七珍八宝，
You don't
你
have
观
them,
想出来七珍八宝，
but you visualize them.
而且观想的满天的
And you visualize
云
them
海，全部都是七珍八宝，观想
to be like the
他们
clouds,
观想
the
出来的
oceans of
密密
clouds,
麻麻的，
very
那是假的，一分一毫也没有，也没有。
lots of them.
就
But
算
that's
你炒
fake,
来
so
一
you
盘
have not make any offering at all.
这个炒饭，一盘炒饭说供养，
So say if you cook fried rice and you make
吃
an
你那一
offering,
盘炒饭吗？
does it mean that the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas really descended to
当然也是假的啊。
eat your fried rice? Of course
你供
not.
水果，供了好多的水果、蔬菜，
Or you make offering of fruits and
他来吃。
vegetables and you invited them to come and eat.
他们就真的来吃吗？
Did they really come and eat?
他们天上有鲜果，
In heavens, they're the
有灵芝。
sage, the divine
有更好的
fruits
珍宝，
and lingzi
何必要吃人间的
and
这些东西
even
呢？
better
那就是你的
precious
心而
things.
已呀。
Why would they want to eat
你
something
用了
earthly?
心啊，
But it's just
就是
your
真的。
heart. Anytime you use
你
your
没有用
heart,
心啊，
then that
就
would
是
be
假的。
real. But if you don't use your heart, then it would be
像
fake.
昨天晚上我看到千手千眼观世音菩萨，
Last night, I had the vision of the
他说他
thousand
今天
eyes,
要来
thousand
开会，
arms, Avalokiteshvara
刚刚他
Bodhisattva.
就下降了。
And he said that he's going to come today, and he did descend.
你没有看
just
到，
now
你说是假的。
Because you did not see, you
我
say
看到
it's
金刚手
fake.
菩萨啊，
I saw
你
Vajrapani
说你没有看到
Bodhisattva,
啊，
and
假
then you
的。
said you didn't see it, so it's fake.
我看到救瘟疫度母啊，
And I saw Tara who
你说没有
dispels
看到啊，
epidemics,
假
and
的。
yet you said you didn't see, so that's fake.
告诉你啊，卢世
So
尊
let
也
me
是假
tell
的，
you, even Grandmaster Lu is fake,
你也是假。
and you are fake too.
一句话跟你讲，
Just one
借这
statement.
个假
We are borrowing the fake
叫做借假
to
修
use
真。
our heart and mind
任何一个
to
法都是一样，
practice the
没有一个
real.
法是真的，全部都是
None
假
of
的。
the Dharma practices are real. They are all
你要把这
fake.
个假的法
So you
变成
need
真的来修，
to make the
用
fake
心去感
Dharma
受，
to become real, to
你就有了
practice
接
and to
受。
feel it with your heart and mind. Then you would experience the spiritual responses.
像昨天晚上我在瑶池
You
金如
would have
来，
the spiritual
我在观修的
experiences.
时候，
Last night,
瑶池金如
Golden
把他
Mother
手上的
came when I was
这个
practicing
仙桃啊，
the visualization,
就飞
and
出来。
Golden Mother's longevity peach flew out.
我一看到仙桃飞出
When
来，
I saw
嘴巴就张开，
the longevity peach, I opened my mouth
哼，它就进到我肚子里面去。
and it went into my belly.
真的还是假的？
Was it real or fake?
关键时刻，真的还是假的？
So at the crucial point, is it real or is it fake?
每一个法都是假的。
Each
你
or
用的
every
心就
Dharma
是真的。
practice is fake, but when you use
你
your heart
观
and
想所
mind,
有的供
then
品，
it is
千
real.
变万化，
You visualize
变
all
成
the
虚空
offerings
中
to
的雨，
become innumerable, to
去供养。
become like
用了
dense
心
clouds
就
in the
是真的。
sky, to make offering.
你
Then
没有
when you
用心，
use your heart, then
一
it would
分
be
一
real.
毫你都没有做，
But if you don't put your heart in
那就
it
是全部都
and
是
you
假的
don't。do anything, then everything is fake.
在心性上，我告诉你，
So
所有一切的观修的法，在心
all the
性上，
visualization practice,
你用的心都有作用。
as long as you
你
put
问
your
在心
heart
性
in
上有
it,
何作用？
then
用
it
的
would
心都有作用。
have effect
你如果不
and
用心，
benefit.
全部都是没
But
有作用。
if you don't put your
这是
heart
第一
or
个问
mind
题。
in it, then nothing would have any effect.
我
So
跟你
that's the
讲一个
point.
实在的话，这个
Let
白
me
衣
give
观
you a
世音菩萨
frank statement.
拿着镜
The
瓶，
white robe Avalokitesvara Bodhisattva came
他用水洒，
holding the nectar water,
用他的大杯咒水，
and she used the Mahakaruna
杨枝净水一
water,
洒，
Dharani water, and the
我那
willow
时候坐在
branch
那
to
里，
sprinkle the water upon me.
就
I
觉
was
得
sitting
那个
there,
水洒在我身上。
and I felt the water
为什
sprinkled
么会
on my
这个
body.
水洒在我身上？
Why was the
因为我
water
用了心。
sprinkled upon me? Because I put my heart and mind into it.
是真的哦，
That was
不
real,
是假的哦。
not false.
用了心就是真的。
As long as you
没有
put your
用心，
heart
就是
mind
假
in
的。
it, then it would be real. Otherwise, it
这
would
是第
be
一个问题。
false or
第
fake.
二个问题，他问
His second question,
阎罗王是管阴的，
the Rama king is in
东
charge
夷
of
大
the
帝也是
nether
管
worlds,
阴的，
and also the great
大
emperor
力
of the
金刚
eastern
也是管阴的，没有哦。大
district,
力金刚管阴
and
阳
Mahabala
都管
too. No,
阴阳
Mahabala
都
actually is in charge
玉
of
皇
both
大
the
帝、
yin and the
金刚
yang.
明王、大菩萨都可以插一脚。
Jade Emperor,
阴界
Vajravidya
到底
Rajas,
谁说
all
了
great
算？
bodhisattvas are in charge of the nether
在
worlds.
阴间到底是
So
谁说
who
了算？
is really in charge in the nether world?
我告诉你哦，
So let me tell you,
阴界到底谁说了算？
who's
我认为有两
really
个人说了算。
in charge in the nether
我跟你
world?
讲，
In my
第一个
opinion, there are two.
是
The
地
first one
藏王菩萨说了算，
is Siddhikarma
因为他是
Bodhisattva,
幽冥教主，
because he's the head of the
任
nether
何
world.
人插一脚都没有用，
It's no use
因
that
为
anybody
阴
is
间
trying
是
to
幽冥
interfere,
教主，地藏王
because
菩萨说了算。
in the nether world, Siddhikarma Bodhisattva, the king
例如我们现在来讲起来，
is
台湾谁说了算？
in total
当然是
charge.
蔡
Like
总
in
统说了
Taiwan,
算。
who is in charge? Of course, President Tsai.
但是在美国不太一样哦。
But in America, it's slightly different. Whatever Trump said, it doesn't really count.
在美国到底谁说了算？
So who
像我们
is
华盛顿
really in
州啊，
charge in America?
州长
Like the
说了算，
state of Washington, the
对
governor
不对？
is in
州长说了
charge.
算，谁都要听州长的。华盛顿州谁都要听州长。
To have the final
川普
say,
当然
yes, everybody in Washington state has to
民主国家，
listen to Governor Inslee.
他讲的话
But
也不一定
America is
算
a democratic
他必须
country.
要
However,
参众两个议院
what
通过
what Trump says
总统
doesn't really count.
提出来，
It has to
参议
be
院、众议院
supported by the
全
Congress
部通过，那就是
and the
川普
House,
说了算。如果
the
参
Senate
众两院没有通过，
before.
川普说了也不算。
So if they don't
第 你的讲的意
agree,
见呢，
then
当然是
what Trump says
这个
doesn't necessarily count.
地藏王菩萨说了算。
But in the netherworld,
他是最
Siddhikarma
大，
Bodhisattva
他是幽冥
is in
教主，
charge. He's the
他说
greatest.
了算。
He's the head
但
of
是
the
我还讲
netherworld.
了一句话，
However,
很简单的，你说了算。我为什么
Actually,
这
it's
样
very
讲
easy.
是你说了算呢？这
So
个
what
问话的人
you
说了算。
what you said counts. Why?
师尊的
Because
心
he
中没有
asked the
意见，
question. Because in
我不受意
Grandmaster's
见。
mind, there is no
你心中有意见，
netherworld, but in
你还
your
受意见
mind
吗？
you have netherworld. That's why you're
啊，
still
你稍微
controlled
想
by
一
the
想哦，
netherworld, but not for Grandmaster. Think about it.
有人
Ponder
问一
it.
个道德高僧，有没有阴间？那个人对他讲，
So someone
有阴
asks
间。
a
另外
great
第二个
adept, is there a netherworld?
来问他
And he
有没
answered,
有阴间，
yes.
他说
And then
没有
another
阴间。
person came and
诶，
asked the same question,
怎
is
么
there
回
a
事？
netherworld? And he replied,
因为
no.
第一个人
So
本
what
身
happened?
啊，
Because for
修
the
行
first
不够力，
questioner, he did not have
所以
enough
将来
mastery
会
in his
堕入
spiritual
阴间。
cultivation. Therefore, he would fall into the netherworld in
第
the
二个人
future.
修行够
And the
力，
second questioner, because he has
他已
enough
经在天
power,
上界的人，
he's already in the
所以
heavenly realms.
那个道德高
So
僧跟他讲
therefore,
没有阴间。
the great adept replied, there is no netherworld.
这样听得出来吗？
So now,
所
can
以
you
是
discern it?
你自己说了算，
So
为什么呢？
whatever you
因为
said
你心里面
counts.
你
So you're in
堕
charge
落，
what
你
you
身
said
心呐造的业，
because your
你
mind
堕到
has
三
fallen
恶道里面，
into the three lower realms due to the karma created
你
by
就
your
有
body
阴
and
间。
mind. Therefore, for you, the netherworld
今
exists.
天你自己的能力，你修
Today,
行已经到了天上界了，
through your own spiritual cultivation, you have
什么阴
reached the
间？
heavenly
你根本
realms.
不受阴间的约束吧？
So, what is there
所以谁说
about
了算？
netherworld? You're
是
not
问的
bound
人
or
说了算。
controlled by the netherworld. So, who is really in charge? The
我
questioner.
这样解释明白吗？
So, do you understand my explanation?
阎罗王管阴间，东夷大陆管阴间，
The Yama
东夷大地
King,
管阴
the
间，
great emperor of Eastern District,
这
Jade
个大菩萨
Emperor,
都可以插一脚，这个金
the
光
great
明王都可以插一
Bodhisattvas,
脚。
the Vidya Rajas and Herukas,
你已
they
经是
all
天上界的人，根本谁
interfere.
阎罗王也管不了你，东夷大地也管不了你，
But if you
任
belong to
何
the
一个
heavenly
菩萨
realm,
都管不了你。
none of this Yama King or the Emperor, Jade Emperor, the Vidya Raja, the Bodhisattvas can
这
control
些
you
阎王、东夷大地、大力金
if
刚、
you are not
皇
in the
大帝、
heavenly
金
realms.
刚明王、
Then
大
all
菩萨
this,
都
the
可以
Yama
管到
King,
你。
the great emperor of the Eastern District, the Jade Emperor, the Vajra, Vidya Rajas,
这是
Herukas, great
第二
Bodhisattvas
个问题，
can all be in charge of
现
you.
在在讲第三个问题，
And now the third
什
question.
么是双造法？师尊说是行者
What is the double shining practice? According to what Grandmaster said, is the practitioner shines light upon sentient beings and the Buddha shines light upon the practitioner. Any details on this? Yes. Of course there are details. For the practitioner has to have his own inner light. Of course, the Buddha can shine light upon the practitioner, but the practitioner has to have light to shine upon sentient beings. This is the details. So the practitioner has to emit the light. That's the details. You have to follow the step-by-step of you practice until your body has light, and then light reflects upon light. So the Buddha's light can shine on you, and you can shine upon the sentient beings. So you're just like the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas can radiating light upon sentient beings. So you have to have light on your body. And in order to emit light, you have to follow the practices step by step according to the development stages until you have light on your body. That's the details. Is there any other details? It's not that you want to have lights and then you do have lights. You have to practice until you truly have lights. Grandmaster in his dreams can extend his hand and I use my mind, the power of my mind, to draw something to my hand. Like there are many books over there, and I want one particular book, and immediately my book came to my hand. I could do it in my dream. Like I want a cup of water, and that cup of water is in my hand. That was in the dream. I could use the power of my mind to make the whole chair like this Dharma throne. Use the power of my mind to make this Dharma throne fly. Sure enough, it did fly in my dream. I could do it in my dream. But in real life, I cannot. So you need to train your power of mind so that your power of the mind can do it. So shining light upon sentient beings, of course, has details. When the Buddha descends upon my body, now I cannot do it just show, but just now I had the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas descend upon me, and then my face would change. Of course, you have to train in the spiritual cultivation. The double shining practice. The practitioner shines light upon sentient beings. The Buddha shines light upon the practitioner. Of course, there are the procedures, this development stage. Then to practice until you have light. And then, of course, you can shine light upon sentient beings. Next, the visualization of the mantra wheel revolving and chanting the mantra has the function of opening the heart chakra. Is there a visualization of mantra wheel at other chakras? Yes. The secret chakra, navel chakra, heart chakra, throat chakra, brow chakra, and the apex, the crown chakra, yes, and the base chakra. They all have it. They're all visualization practices for them.
再来一个问题，
Next
请
question.
师尊开示。
Please advise on the
佛
following.
说地言、地师言，必
Quote
逆
from
成
the
就仪轨。
sadhana of the secret attainment of
昔以
Indra
行
as
人
spoken by the
先
Buddha.
悉仪，
Quote,
阿
the
阇雷
practitioner should be at an
起
acharya's
信静
place
心，依法
and
传
with
授，
faith and
然后
respect
求至
receives
本尊
instructions,
威
then
神
asks for the
加护，
protection from the powerful yidam
广大供养诸佛如来，
and
为众生作
offer
大布施，
greatly
行
to
人
the
当面
all the
恭喜，
Tathagatas and Buddhas
十供
and
养，
also give
然
charities to
后
sentient beings.
面悉复行30供量， 光入一宫， 其状 四方
The practitioner walks to the east for 10 arrow measurements, then faces the west and walks 30 arrow measurements.
行
Enter
人
a
既
palace
以
with
窗
4
有众，
lattice
关
windows.
键种
He
种
is
树木，
immediately inside it,
其
seeing all
树
kinds of
皆
trees,
是圣
and
药。
these trees are marvelous
这里
medicine.
提到的地方是有形还是无形？
So these places that
今
it
天就是在
mentioned,
这样讲
is
有
it
跟无的。
concrete or abstract? Is it tangible or
我跟你
intangible?
讲
Today we are all
这
talking
个
about
礼拜
existence
我
and
跟大家讲
annihilism.
四重结界，
Last week I was talking about the fourfold protection. Visualize the 4
金刚网，
walls, the Vajra net, visualize the Vajra
观想
foundation,
金刚火，
visualize the Vajra
就
fire,
结界了。
then you perform the protection.
请问是有还是无？
So, let me ask you, does it exist or not?
哎，你做了观想啊，师尊现在做观想，做四重结界，观想金刚墙，
So let's visualize. I visualize the Vajra walls on my 4 sides
虚空中有金刚网，
and visualize in the sky there's a Vajra net
是金
and
刚地基。
visualize under my
我做的
feet
法座
is the
化为
Vajra
金刚
foundation.
地基，
The Dharma throne transforms to become Vajra
升
net
起了金刚火。
and visualize there
请问
is Vajra fire on the
是有还
Vajra
是无？
walls. So my question is, did that exist? Does that exist or
我
not?
用了心观想就是有，
When I use my heart to visualize, then it exists.
如果钦差公共的呀，
They
钦
exist.
差，钦差行行为，钦差
If
公
you
共
just do it
就是没有。
haphazardly or lightly, then they don't exist.
所以你按照这个佛说地师言，必密成就仪轨，
So
按照这个
this
做
is，according to
用了
the
心
sadhana of the secret
就是有。
attainment of Indra as spoken by the Buddha. If you
那你
follow
所
it
看到的树
and
木，
put your heart in it, then they
所
do
有的树
exist.
都是圣药，
So the trees that you see, all the trees
就是
would
有。
be marvelous medicine. Then they do exist then.
你如果钦差做做嘞，钦差
But if you just do it
钦差
without
钦差
putting your heart into it,
就是没有。你说有形还是无形呢？
so do you say they exist or don't
无
exist?
形是有形，有形也是无形。
So the existence is nihilism
用的心
and
就是有，没有用心
the
就是
annihilism
没
is
有。
existence. So if you put your heart in it, then it exists. If you don't put your heart in it, then it doesn't
就
exist.
是用的心，
So every day when Grandmaster
所以
practiced
像那
visualization,
个
I
观世
certainly
音菩萨
use my heart and
拿
put
杨柳
my
净
heart
水
and mind into
洒
it.
我的时候，
So when Avalokitesvara Bodhisattva sprinkles the willow
水就冲
branched
到我
nectar
脸上，
water
全身都是
upon
水。
me, I could feel the water on my
这个就有啊，
face and
有
all
了
over
心啊。
body. Then it existed. because I put my heart into it.
用他的白毫相
And when
般
Amitabha
照我，
Buddha used his
我感受到
treasures,
白毫相观，
hundreds precious auspicious
接受
light
到了白毫
upon
相
me,
观，这就是有啊。
I felt I
是无形上
received it.
当然无形
So
的，
it did exist.
但是我有接受啊。
Was it intangible? Yes. But I experienced
所以呢，
it.
跟你讲一个答案，是有
So
形还是无形？
the
有
answer,
形也是无形，无形也是有形。
existing also doesn't exist. And
第四个，
not existing is
造法的
also
假
not
马
existing.
和藏密的轰马
Not
都是
existing is also
都有
existing.
和
The
无
next
形界
question,
沟通
the
的作用。
armored horse
一
in
个马
Taoism
背
and the
上有
wind
盔
horse
甲，
of
一个是
Tibetan
马背
tantric
上有
practice
火焰
function
状
both
的
in the
三宝，
tangible as well as
是否
intangible world.
同等？
One has an
同用，
armor on top of
没错，
the horseback, and the other
是
one
同用。
has 3 jewels amidst fire.
甲
Are
马
they
跟
interrelated?
轰马
Yes.
是通用的，
So
一个背
they
上
are
有盔甲，
interchangeable. One
一个
has an
马背
armor,
上有火焰
and
状
the
的
other
三宝，
horse has the 3 jewels amidst the fire.
一个
So
是
they
道，
are interrelated, interchangeable. One is in Taoism, the other one in Buddhism.
修保平气过后会很累，是什么原因？修保平气过后会很累，是什么
When I
原因？
practice the treasure with energy yoga, I would feel extremely tired. Why?
修气也有种种
I
的
am
类
able to
象，
hold my breath for over
比
2
如
minutes and
原
also
本的
have all
手
kinds of
脚冰
auspicious
凉，
signs,
现在
such
是
as my
热，
hands that used to be cold are now
这很
warm.
好啊。
That is
你
good.
闭气超过2分钟，
You can hold your
修
breath
气
for
也
over
有
2
种种的
minutes
类象，
and you have all kinds of
手
auspicious
冰
signs,
凉，现在是热，
and your
这
hands
是
that
非
were
常
used
好
to。be cold and now warm. That's all excellent.
但是修了保平气过后会很累，
But
是什
after
么原因？
practicing the treasure with energy yoga, you feel
哦，
extremely tired. What's the
我
reason?
们这里没有几个人，
We don't have that
哦，
many
连万
people
上不在
here.
这里。
Master
你
Lian
修了
Wang,
保平气以后，
where after
会
you
很累吗？
practice treasure with energy yoga, would you feel tired?
连望说不会。
Nope. Master
那
Lian Wang
个
replied,
强
nope.
师兄，
And Dharma brother
你修
Dexter,
了保平气以后会
after
很累吗？
you practice treasure with
不会。
energy yoga, would you feel tired?
好，
No.
李阳，
And
李
Liang,
阳师兄，你修了保平气以后会很累吗？
Dharma brother Liang,
他
would you
摇头
feel
说
tired?
不会。
He shook his
那
head.
你那个毕生
And
上师
Bijan
说你
Master,
修保平气以后会很累吗？
would you feel tired after
不会。
practicing treasure with energy yoga? No.
什么原因？要问你
Why?
自己了，
Then you should ask yourself,
因为我也不累啊。
because I also don't feel tired.
我们修了平气以后也不累啊，
You don't
你
feel
怎么会
tired
累呢？
after
那你的
practicing
体
the
质
treasure
跟
with
我们
yoga.
有问题。
Why
因为
would you feel tired? Maybe
因为我没有听过修保平气以后会很累的。
maybe physics different. Never
这很奇
heard
怪啊。
anybody feel really tired
这
after
里
practicing
问了
the
4个人，
breathing
因为
yoga.
这里只有4个人，
Because we
师母
only
不
have
算。
4 people here, so I've asked 4 people.
修保平
Sumo
气
is
会
that,
累
that
吗？
that's not counted in there. Would you feel
不
tired
会啊。我们
after
5
the
个人都讲
breathing
不会，
practice?
只有你一个人讲
5
会。
of us say no, only you said you're tired.
我到过去啊，我敢让，
So I just don't
我
know.
到过去啊，我敢让。头 I don't know 。我真的不知道怎么回
I
答。
really
啊，
don't know how to answer your question.
要问你自己，
You should ask
不
yourself.
修就不累。
You don't feel
现在就会
tired
累，
when you don't practice, and you feel tired after you practice?
很怪。
That's weird.
闭气也不会累啊。
Holding your breath also does not make you tired.
这个很难回答，
That's very difficult to answer
因为我们都不累，只有你累。
because none of us feel tired, only you
就去
do.
sleeping，
Well, that's good too. Then you
累
can
了就去
sleep
睡
if you
觉。
feel tired.
今天跟大家谈到过，
So today, I would like to continue to expound on Lamdre.
这个讲过了，饮食失调觉中漏，行止不端过中漏两项，以前章教师之
Leaking
饮食
during disharmony due to diet and leaking due to the faults of improper stop and go. We've talked about this
此等为
before.
中极戒，
The above two is the
此主要
same
的
as the
障碍
instruction on diet and receiving ambrosia with
极
dignity.
为珍贵。
These are the very precious instruction on the hindrances and
现在
protection
讲
during
后
the
极
middle
戒，
accumulation method. Now we
颂
will
因
talk about the
障
latter
则有二，
accumulation period.
即
In the
烦恼
verse,
障
the
跟
hindrances
所知障。
refer to both the
什
hindrances
么是烦恼
due
障？
to afflictions and
烦
hindrances
恼
due
障
to
即
knowing.
为念
And
念
what is
相
the
续，
hindrances due to
以
afflictions?
此除潜入
It refers to the incessant thoughts which can be guarded by the three
所知
kinds
障
of entrance to
虽
the
是
cultivation.
禅定，
And
然既
hindrances
有
due to
八
knowing,
过之
even
结
in
受，
meditation, there are
此
spiritual
一
experiences
用
of the
宝
eight
刃任
faults.
意，
Guard
之要
this
诀
using the
生
key
起
formula
三
of
种
letting it be
无过
to
而
give
守
rise
之，
to the three faultlessness.
其具
After
过
knowing
失
that it
了
is the
之，
faults of
为
meditating,
禅
let
定
it
后，
be. If it
时
doesn't
以
give
任
rise to
意，
faultlessness,
若不生
practice
无
it.
过失，其修习之法，以
And
六
know
教授持，
the
手受了
experience
之，
according to the six
此
instructions.
为暂时共通之
This
事
is
实，
the
守护法，
temporary common 14
总体
guarding
30
practices
守护法，
for a
是
total
净，
of 30
如
protection
是
practices.
正文判为
This is the main
七章
text for
论
the 7 chapters
轮
on the
内
common
共
path
通之
of
道
rebirth and
受
nirvana.
尽。后极戒，颂引障则有二，即烦恼障跟所知障。
So in the latter
烦
accumulation
恼的障
period,
碍
the hindrances referred in the verse refer to both hindrances due to affliction and
你要
hindrances
入
due to
禅定，
knowing. The first
有
one is
两种
simple.
障碍，
In order,
一种就
in
烦恼
entering
障，
meditation, there are two
一
hindrances.
种就是所
One
知
is
障。
hindrances due to afflictions, and the second one is
烦恼
hindrances
障
due to
我
knowing.
们依照名词来讲，烦恼
According to the wordings,
你
hindrances
心
due
里
to
头有烦恼，
afflictions, like when you have afflictions
不能够
or worries,
在你的
emotional
念头里面
disturbances or
一直产
troubles
生出来，
inside your mind, it would
烦恼产生出
continually
来，
appear in your mind.
你就障碍你
Then that would
进
hinder
入
you
三昧地。
to enter samadhi.
你烦恼产生出来，
When
你
you
就
have
不能够专一，
afflictions, you cannot
不能够
focus.
专一，就不能禅定。
And when you cannot focus, you cannot meditate.
什么是烦恼？
What is
当
an
然很多
affliction?
了，
There are all kinds of things.
很多烦恼。
There are all kinds of
这个
afflictions.
是我们讲的
like we talk about it, food, wealth, fame, sleep, and also greed, anger, delusion, all kinds of sufferings, also an affliction. You have to discard all these afflictions. You need to expel them. But if you cannot, you can just put them aside, ignore them. Then that way you are discarded them. Actually, it's extremely difficult to eliminate your afflictions. As we know, to practice meditation, you say it's very important to practice meditation. If you know, there would be hindrances due to knowing. You know that meditation is important, focus, concentration is important, and you keep repeating to yourself, I want to enter samadhi, I want to enter samadhi, I want to enter samadhi. And because of this, that becomes your hindrance. You should not think of it. You should just be easy and at peace and at ease. That's one method. Here, guard it using the key formula of letting it be to give rise to the three faultlessness. So, letting it be. Just go the natural flow. So you use this method. So go the natural way. That's the key formula. When you feel tired, then you go to sleep. That's the natural way. When you're energetic and you cannot enter samadhi, then you chant while walking. You chant sutras or mantras. And then when you feel you're settling down and you're not so tired either, then you can enter samadhi. It would be very easy for you to enter samadhi. If you feel really tired and then you want to meditate and you have no thoughts at all, then suddenly you fall asleep. You would be drowsy. But if you are so awake, it's impossible for you to enter samadhi either. If it's too tight, that's when you're so awake. Then you can walk and chant. But if you are too loose, you might as well just sleep. So it has to be just right in between the tightness and looseness. And then you just go the natural flow. Then you can enter samadhi. So that's hindrances due to afflictions and hindrances due to knowing. If you have too much afflictions, then you have incessant thoughts. And hindrances due to knowing. You know that you need to meditate, but you should not have thoughts about it in order to be in concentration and enter samadhi. Now let's continue on the worldly path. What is it? 3 guiding paths, which is the guiding path of the qi, the guiding path of the area ambrosia, and the guiding path of the channel seeds. And second is the 2 action paths, and they are 5 paths and 37 body divisions. This is now the instruction on the worldly path, divided into 7 sections. A bodhichara seeking to affirm the perfect realization has 3 guiding paths like a master merchant, or 2 action paths like a predestined host. These are all just the titles. 3 guiding paths, the guiding path of the qi, the guiding path of the ambrosia, the guiding path of the channel seed. And the guiding path of the qi is the qi circulation. And the guiding path of the area ambrosia is of that white and right body. And the guiding path of the channel seeds are those inside the channels and the Sanskrit syllables. The guiding path of the qi, ambrosia, and channel seeds. And the worldly path is divided into the 3 accumulation periods. The out-of-worldly path is divided into 4 empowerments. These are all mostly titles. There's the worldly path and the out-of-worldly path. Now let's just talk about the guiding path of the qi. In the worldly path, at the initial accumulation, realm, use the guiding path of qi to destroy the afflictions. When you practice to move the qi to all the channels and to slightly loosen it, it would be very painful, like the northern wing, like the knives. But in the middle accumulation period, you guide the qi without destroying or benefiting. Then you use the continual practice to open the primary channel knots. Then the mind qi is slightly pure and settled, and the pain of the qi stopping like the balmy breeze in the spring. At the latter accumulation period, the guiding qi is beneficial. You use the continual strengthening power to open the normal channel knots, and the mind qi is extremely clear and pure. Then you would benefit all kinds of meditation, and you can use this mind qi to eliminate the great chaos in the body and to destroy all afflictions, just like the cool breeze in the summer. That's the worldly path. So actually what it talks about is about opening the channels. In the initial accumulation period, the qi guiding path is to try to destroy the affliction. You use the power of your practice of moving the qi on the channels in order to loosen the knots, but it is very painful, like the knives of the northern wind. So you need to loosen the knots of the channels. Say areas that have knots of the channels, for example, over here, when there are knots, then you would be painful. Simply say, we can say, the muscle. You know, in the pain there is knots. The point, like on your back, you need to find the knots. And then you use your qi to open that knot, to open the painful knots. What is this? Okay, let me just use something as an analogy. This is a mala, a rosary beads. And then you tie a knot here. And there's a knot formed here. So when the qi moves to here, then there would be pain over there. And the pain is like the northern wind. It's like the knife cutting into you. That would be painful. And how do you alleviate this pain? In the initial accumulation period, you need to move it. You move the qi, or use your fingers to push, to press on it. It would be painful, but once you loosen it, then it would be smooth and there would be no more pain. And now the qi circulates and you feel no pain. But if there's a knot, when the qi reaches this area, there would be pain there. And you need to try to find a way to open the knot. Then the pain would be gone. Things will move smoothly. So, in the initial accumulation period, the qi guiding path, you try to destroy or to alleviate the knots of the qi. When you massage it, to open it, that would be painful, but after it alleviates it, then you would feel fine, no more pain. That's what it meant. So there are two methods. For the qi practitioner, if you feel pain anywhere, say over here, then you tremble it. Right there, so that the channel would open. Then the qi knots would be loosened. But if you don't have enough strength in your qi, but Grandmaster has enough strength. If I want the qi to the fingers, it would go there. If I want it here, it would go here. If I want it there, it would go there. If you have shoulder pain, you can tap it. All the same, you can open your channels, just like that chanting beads earlier. You loosen the knots of the area. two methods. The first one, use the qi inside your body to open it, to loosen it. The second method is to use the Vajra face exercise or yoga to open it, to circulate it. Say if you feel discomfort here, then you do that. You move it around to open the knots here. If it's on the head, you have headache, then you can massage it with your fingers. It's like brushing your hair to smoothen the channels over here. So if you feel the symptoms of qi knots over there, then you use that method. Or you use the qi inside you to push it out. Or you use your physics to do it. And the other one is the Vajra fist exercise, and the other one is using your qi to alleviate it. This is important. They use all kinds of names. Jokes about the epidemics. So shake hands. Now they're asking us not to shake hands. Otherwise there would be infection or transmission of the virus. You high five just for a short moment. So that's better. But still it's not the best. And then fist to fist. That's also a way. Shake hands is the worst. High five. High fist. And the best one is to raise your middle finger. What is this joke? So the middle finger is using the tantric Vajra finger. This is really because, I'm very mad about this, because this is a subjugation mudra, and for the subjugation you need to form this Vajra finger, and this is our tantric things. This is how you do it. This is Vajra finger. This is Vajra finger belonging to Tantrayana. And now they use it for something else. This is very useful. We can draw mantra using this. It's very, very beneficial. And then you can use it to subjugate, to subdue. So there are two subjugation mudras. One is like this, and the other one is like this. In Taoism, there's the heavenly commander. So he is holding this middle finger going up. So it's just being misused by people in this world. But actually the middle finger is a true subjugation mudra, which is this mudra. It's a very important one. And now they played a joke on it and made it something useless. When I was looking in my pocket, I lost my keys. I didn't realize it, so I went back to try to find it. And on the side there were young lovers, and the man kept asking, "Whose is this? Whose is this?" And I thought he was talking about my keys. So I replied, "It's mine, it's mine, it's mine." And then I found out that she just got pregnant. Too bad. My face hurt for a few days. So the joke was like this. It's not very smooth. So he lost his keys and he was trying to look for it, and he saw young lovers by the side, and the man kept asking, "Whose is this? Whose is this?" And he thought they were talking about the keys, so he said, "Mine." It turned out that the girl got pregnant. Oh, that's a joke. That's the crucial moment. So, like the key moment of existence and non-existence. Grandmaster experienced the spiritual sensation, but they are intangible, but also tangible. So if you put your heart in it, then it exists. If you don't put your heart in it, then it doesn't exist. So that's the crucial point. That's the critical moment. And it's not that you just put your heart and then it exists immediately. You have to train in putting your heart for a long time in order to make it exist. It's not that the first time you put your heart in it, and then when the Avalokitesvara Bodhisattva sprinkle her water, then I would drink it. But there's nothing, because your power is not there yet. So the crucial point is to put your heart or not. When you put your heart for a long period of time, then it would be beneficial. Everything in the world is fake. Do you think the dollar bills are real? No, they're just being recognized by the government. If they don't recognize it and the world doesn't accept it, then those bills are actually just papers. It has no use at all. That's the point.
在台湾宜兰的一家烧鸭店餐厅老板，在监控中
Yilan City, a duck, roast duck restaurant, the boss wrote on the board, new customers, 0. Looking like customers, 0. Out of town customers, 0. Local customers, 0. Death count, 0. Because it's a roast duck restaurant, so the death counts of the ducks also 0. It's very stable. No business
老
at the
板展
restaurant.
出来的。
What the owner thought of.
好了，我讲我自己想出来的一个笑话。
Okay, let me tell the joke that I thought of.
这个一个甲妇人对乙妇人说
Mrs. A told Mrs.
你看
B,
起来很累。
"You look very
乙
tired."
妇人回答
And Mrs. B replied,
是的，因为我先生生病
"Yes,
了，
because my husband is sick.
我24小时在医院里面照顾他，
I have
所
to
以很累。
take care of him in the hospitals
那甲妇人就
24/7."
讲，那你不请一个
And
护
Mrs.
士？
A said, "Why
就
don't
是
you
乙妇人回
ask
答
a
就
nurse?"
是因为请了这个女护士啊，我才
And Mrs.
累
B
啊。
replied, "Oh, because we hired a nurse, that's why I'm very tired.
我才要24小时都要
That's
照顾
why
先
I
生。
have to watch my husband for 24 hours a day."
什么意思？知道吗？
You know what it means?
这里讲台湾的笑话。
It's
台湾的
Taiwanese
健保
joke.
真是太赞了。有
Taiwanese
2位老先生，
Taiwanese healthcare is
全身没事
truly
就医院
amazing. Their 2
早上
elderly
会挂这
men
个科，
have
下午
nothing to
又挂那
do,
个
so
科。
every day they
有一
go to
天
the hospitals.
有一位
In
没
the
来，
morning
医
they go
生
to
问
that department, in the
另外一位
afternoon
怎
they
么
go to
没来？
another department,
这
and
位
one
老
day
人家
there's
回
only
答
one man
他
and
生
the
病
doctor
了，
asks,
在家里休息。
"So what happened to the other guy?" "Oh, he's sick, so he's resting at home."
这真正生病了就不能跑医院。
When he's really sick, then he cannot go to the hospitals.
这个是以前我讲过的笑话。
I have told this joke
我
before.
问你一句话，
Let me
问大
ask
家
you a question.
为什么男生跟女生刚刚开始约会的时候，
When a man and a woman just beginning to date, they never fart.
联望上师
Master Lian Wang?
礼貌，
Politeness.
为什么男生跟女生该约会的时候都不会
When a
放屁？
man is on a date with a woman, they don't
他这
fart.
里有画一个，刚刚交往的时候啊，是
At the beginning of a
灭
date,
音器的手枪，灭音器的
it's
手枪。
a soundproof
下一个
gun.
是灭音器的手枪，因为都灭音了，
Soundproof,
让
so
声
no
音不
sound.
出来。但是交往很久啦，
But after a long time, in a relationship for a long time, or after
就变
getting
成大
married,
炮。
then it becomes like a bomb.
他这里画来一个大炮，
That's what they drew here.
为什么结婚了以后呢，大家通通都变成大炮？为什么？
Why everybody becomes a dynamite after getting married?
讲的也很对，他讲说太亲了，没有距离，
Because you're so
Okay.
close
也没有体
already.
面不体面，
You don't
也没有
care
说
about
什么
face
缺
or
点不
not,
缺点的，反正大家
or
就是每天都在喊
weaknesses or not.
不，
Every day we
男的也
keep
不
saying,
女的也不，
"Phew." The man and the woman.
这个笑话是国王讲：“我的新衣服做好了吗？”
The
国王的
king
新衣服
said, "Is my new robe
裁缝讲
ready?"
做好了
And the
就在
tailor
这
said,
里
"Yeah, it's done. It's
国
right
王
here."
问在
And
哪
the
里？
king asked,
没
"Where?
看到
I
啊。
cannot see it."
裁缝讲
And the tailor
这
said,
种布料
"This
只
kind
有
of
聪明的人
textile
才看得
can
到。
only be seen by a smart
国王
person."
你呢？
And how about you, king?
国王就回答：
And the
Oh.
king replied,
我有一个大胆的想法，
"Oh, I have
传
a
令下去。
brave
明
idea.
天起，所有的宫女
please command from every morning all the palace servants should wear clothes made of this textile, this kind of textile. So today that's all. So I would like to let you know that the governor of Washington State on May 1st, and today's May 2nd, he said that the stay-at-home order will go to May 31st to June. So we have to stay at home until the end of May. Not May 31st. So that's the same as June 1st to May 31st. But it's not decided yet that on that day everything will be free. It depends on the situation. If things have turned for the better, then on May 31st, they would take away the stay-at-home order. However, if on May 31st the situation is still not good, it's possible that it would be extended. So in Seattle, in our state of Washington, that's what the governor said. That stay-at-home order will be taken off by May 31st, but it's not determinate because it depends. That's the plan, but it will depend on the data. So that's the situation now. It's not so good. We have to do it for another month. This past few months, I feel this feeling that Grandmaster and Simu are already eating into our savings. But you cannot feel bad. Because which individual, which country can still earn money? Almost everybody is suffering and using their savings. Talking about the mind of equality, all kinds of businesses are not doing well. Not just you, one person, almost everybody suffering too. So from the mind of equality, we should just be at peace. Why? Because everybody is, because it happens to everybody. Think about it. We are lucky enough. Grandmaster and Simu are quite lucky. We can be seated here on this Dharma throne, giving Dharma teaching. This is truly fortunate. And your bodies are still okay.
你没有中到新冠状病毒，
you don't get the
还好
coronavirus
好的，
and you
这个也
still
是幸运
fine,
啊。
that's also
今
good
天虽然
luck.
是吃老本，
Although that we're
哪一个
eating
人不
into
吃
our
老本呢？
savings, everybody is,
因为是平等，
because
所
it's
以也是
equal
幸运啊。
to everybody. Therefore, it is
再
quite
讲一
fortunate.
下，你可以剩下很多的时间，
You can have more
平时在
time
家里，
at home.
你可以精行，
You can
你
chant
可以禅定，
and strolling around.
你
You
可以
can
念佛，
meditate. You
你
can
可以持
chant
咒，
the Buddha's name. You
你
can
可以
chant
一样一
mantra.
样把释迦行全部修好。
You can practice
幸运
all
啊，
the 4 preliminary or fundamental
你这
practices
样子把修
one
行
by
的功
one.
夫，
So
在
that's
这一段
truly
时间里面
fortunate
把它做好，
that in this period of
你
time
就
you
比别
can
人幸运了。
put your time into your practice.
你
Then you
用
would be
心的、
luckier than
专
others.
一的去
Use
修
your
这个，
mind, put your
修
heart
释
in
下
it,
去， 你
focus
把它修
to
满。
practice the
在
4
这几
preliminary
个月之内，
practices. Just
就
do
算
it
是够幸运的了。
for this few
别人
months.
不知道怎么
You're
生活，
very
你
fortunate.
还懂得怎么样的
Other
生活。
people may not know how to live, but you do.
有时间，
You have time.
你可以好好静下心来修行，
You can just quiet your
静下
mind
心来念
and
佛，
practice.
静下心来持
Chant
咒，
the Buddha's name,
下心
chant
来
the
修
mantra, do the
你
Dhamma
就把没
practice.
有用的时间变成有用的时间，
Then the wistful time
这
is
是非常重要的。
transformed into
所
beneficial
以今
time.
天师尊讲的新冠状病
This
毒
is very important.
对于
So what
师尊来
Grandmaster is
讲
today
是
saying,
很多很多的幸运，
so coronavirus in the
对于
eyes of
行者来讲
Grandmaster
是很
has
多很
lots
多
of
的
good
幸运。
sides. For spiritual
你懂得
cultivators,
应
there
用
are
这个
lots
时
of
间的话，
uh,
你的成就会非常的
lucks,
好，非
lots.
常的
If you understand that,
得到的功力非常的高，
then
得
you
到
make the
佛菩
best
萨
use
的
of your
加持，
time and you
非
would
常的顺利，
receive
你的光明
more
也是
mastery
非
and
常的无
power,
量。
and you would receive
量的光明
extremely tremendous
可以在你
blessings from
身
the
上
Buddhas,
显现。
and you would gain
所以
the
大家好
boundless
好
light
应
on
用
your
这一段
body.
时间，
So please
好
make the
好
best
静
use of
心，
time
沉
during this
静
period of
自己的
time
心灵，好
to
好地修
quiet
行。
your mind, to
那个
settle
就是
down,
幸
and
运。
to cultivate spiritually.
无论
That would be a
Om Mani Padme
fortune. That is the best of luck. Om Mani Padme Hum.